Why is the Ohio AARP saying vote no on Ohio Senate Bill 271? And the short answer to that question is that if the AARP is coming out with a statement, obviously it's going to be targeted uh, to folks who were born between the years 1946 and 1964. Uh, well, those are the baby boomers, but that's AARP is an organization, an extremely strong organization that I have belonged to for 12 years now. But they came out with this statement this morning, and I wanted to share it with you that the Ohio Bill, Senate Bill 271, and I'm quoting now the AARP, Ron Bridges, in a email he sent out to Ohio AARP members. Uh, Not a letter, an email. If proposed legislation is passed to completely deregulate phone services in Ohio, Senate Bill 271 is an anti-consumer bill that will dismantle important consumer protections that have defended against discrimination in rates, ensured billing errors were corrected, guaranteed credits for outages, provided adequate service quality, oh my goodness, and the list just keeps on going, and ensured that everyone who wants a basic, no frills phone line could afford to have one. I can't believe that there's legislation that's going to be considered that would allow that to really happen. Now, this is really the first that I've heard about it. Maybe it just came out, so I will hopefully be able to learn some more about it before that Senate bill vote comes. As you know, I do not uh, make political comments of any sort. Um, I have always wanted to uh, do and understand what is best for small business. And to me, small business should not have politics attached to it. It's tough enough to be challenging enough to be a small business owner, small business person that additional burdens don't really necessarily need to be there. When you think about how important the actual telephone has been in our life, and maybe this is why this bill is happening. Maybe that's why the uh, large telecommunications company hired 35. Where did I read 35 registered lobbyists to handle the just in the state of Ohio. Amazing. That's like maybe one to three lobbyists. So they're pushing hard on this thing. We don't want anything that takes consumer rights away from individuals, particularly when it comes to telecommunications. Telecommunications companies can be very, very disconcerting companies and operations, and we need them. You've heard me talk about the horrible situation that I've had with Sprint Nextel in the last, I guess it's over a year now. And they think that they can do just anything and it's okay. And you know what? It's not okay. And just because a uh, carrier tells you that you owe them $1,952, it doesn't mean you owe them $1,950 when your position very clearly is you don't owe them anything. And uh, telecommunications companies should not be able to operate that way. And in fact, I registered a complaint, a formal complaint, with the Federal Communications Commission. I think I filed it last September. I have never heard back of them from them, and I sent another certified letter just a couple weeks ago because of further harassment by Sprint Nextel. Obviously, the FCC didn't hear it the first time, so hopefully they'll hear it the second time. And the reason we don't want you to have to go through the horrible experience that I went through. So I'm going to share as much information as I can with you, so that you don't necessarily or not necessarily, you don't make the same mistake. Well, I didn't make any mistakes. Sprint Nextel actually thinks I have a contract with them, and I don't have a contract with them. Amazing. It's an amazing story. But we have to protect the rights of the consumer, particularly when it affects the way that folks communicate with one another. Because the AARP came out with a statement, it means that older folks are truly affected by the impact here. And for some older folks, that's the only way they have to communicate. Younger folks don't need telephones anymore. We're going into a transitional period where we'll be carrying tablets with us, and inexpensive mobile phones. I can't even remember the last time I had a landline, and I should say a landline that worked, because of voice over IP connections I've had. I've never had a landline that worked well and that was doing the things that it was supposed to do. So, and if you live in Ohio, Senate Bill 271, contact your senator and tell them this is not very good legislation, particularly for older folks who shouldn't be treated this way. Should be able to communicate with their grandkids.